Hey everyone! Now that we know we are getting a new Mario Kart game, it's time to discuss something that hasn't been mentioned much just yet. We've seen a lot of takes on characters and retro tracks, but what about the items? For 24-player races, items are going to play an even bigger role this time around, and I think we could expect a much larger pool of items. Today, I'll be discussing all the items I believe will be in the next game, many from past Mario Kart games, some from Mario Kart Tour, and even a few brand new ones. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart. Now let's get right into it. Obviously, we were only shown 15 seconds of footage from the next Mario Kart game, and they weren't going to show us everyone getting tossed around by items. They just wanted to give us a small glimpse that a new game is coming. You can see item boxes in the distance during the long straightaway shot, but it's hard to tell if things like double item boxes are returning. But hey, it's Mario Kart. Items are the core of the experience, so let's discuss what items will likely be in the game. So right off the bat, we're going to start with the basics. You know, the staples of every Mario Kart game. So I believe we will definitely see red shells, green shells, bananas, and mushrooms, especially all in their triple forms. We'll definitely see things like the blooper, the star, and lightning, or as most people call it, the shock. And we can't forget about things like the golden mushroom, Bob-Omb, bullet bill, things like the super horn, boo, fire flower, the boomerang flower, which I was on the fence about that one, and obviously the blue shell. Pretty much all the items from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, minus the piranha plant, because let's be honest, it's not the greatest, and the Crazy 8, which was exclusive to Mario Kart 8, just like how the Lucky 7 was unique to Mario Kart 7. These items will fit right in, especially for all the people that grew up with Mario Kart 8 because you know we've had it for 10 years, so it just keeps most of those players familiar with what they already know and love. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. Returning items from past games. I think items like the giant banana and Bowser shell would fit in super well in this game. With larger tracks, having massive items will just enhance all the chaos. Of course, they'll probably limit how many can be in play, especially for the Bowser shell. Dude, it would be so cool to see that shell bouncing around the track again, especially if they bring a track like Baby Park back. Man, that thing would go nuts. I just love those items so much, and seeing them return would be awesome. Some other returning items should be like the POW block. Imagine 23 other racers getting hit by it. The chaos would be hilarious. Hopefully the servers can handle an item that could hit 23 players at once. The fake item box. Man, I miss this item. It was a classic, and now it could probably cause confusion due to the amount of racers, or you could just be bumped into one by all the chaos on the track. Obviously, the Mega Mushroom needs to return, because seeing racers grow huge and just dominate the track would be so fun to see again, and with this new art style, I think it would just fit in perfectly. It's so already goofy, and the car's already so bouncy, and then picture just Donkey Kong or Bowser just even 10 times bigger in their car. It would be pretty funny. Next is the Chain Chomp. Yeah, I know this one's a little different because we already have the bullet bill, but it's a chaotic alternative to the bullet bill because it detaches after some use. And same as the Mega Mushroom, the art style would just fit this item incredibly well, and it would just be so goofy. Now this item I think is a must need, that being the heart. It's a perfect item for protection, especially for newer players. 24 racers is a lot to think about, and being able to be protected for another hit or two would be really nice. And it adds new strategic play to the game, especially in competitive. Imagine playing in something like a clan war, and you steal the other team's shock. That would just be absolute madness. That's how I remember it working in Double Dash, and seeing it again would just be really cool. Now, some items that definitely probably won't return are items like the Thunder Cloud, Super Leaf, and the Yoshi Egg. Some items need to stay retired to make way for new ones. Now let's talk about some items from Mario Kart Tour, as it introduced some interesting ones that could work well. Things like the banana barrels and mushroom cannons would work, I think, pretty well in this style of game. The wide tracks would make for these chaotic items to be just really fun, and with, bananas spread everywhere on the track, especially, and mushrooms spread along the track. And I know mushrooms may seem like advantage to other racers, but really it could just make them run into even more things scattered on the track. It could make them go off the track. Like it could be used in an offensive as well as a defensive way. Other items like the dash rings would be a really good item to bring back, especially as a comeback item for players falling behind, because with 24 players, I think we're gonna need a few more comeback items that isn't as powerful as the bullet bill. Another good one would be the Giga Bob-Omb. This one would be really cool, and it also could be really overpowered, so I could see it not being added, because it could literally take out a pack of racers. Just imagine tossing that thing, and you just hit 10 people. They just all spin out, they all go flying, and with its like bouncing mechanic it does in Tor, I think it would be a good item to get in the lower air like spots, because I feel like that would be kind of OP if you're in like top 5 or 6 and you just throw one of these backwards, because that's just making the gap, like the lead gap, too wide, I think. So being able to pull this in like 12th place, 14th place, and just throwing it forward, it would look really cool. And then another item which I was also on the fence about is the ice flower, because this one seems like a little, like I said, overpowered, but also it could just make all the racers, just slip and slide across the track, bumping into other racers, causing them to lose control or just hit other items on the track. But that's why I think that one could make it. And then this one is definitely like a 50-50 because we already have things like the bullet bill and stuff. But I was definitely thinking the bubble could be added because like it's another dodge item, but like we already have those between like the star and bullet bill and other things. But as well, for new players, it might be cool to add, but we'll see what they go with the bubble. And then definite items I don't think returning are going to be the coin box or the super bell, because just as I said for the older items, they need to stay out if we want to see new items. And speaking of new items, let's dive into a few. I only really thought of 3 that would be well, and they might just make up new items, but these 3 are inspired from other games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Mario Galaxy. So the first one I have is the drill mushroom, which allows you to temporarily drive underground to avoid items or obstacles. Now, this could be treated as like an underground bullet bill where your speed's a little bit increased and you're able to like hit other racers, but instead of it being like automatic, you control it, or it has a timer where you can keep popping in and out of the track where you want to go down, and that might be really strategic because you might see a million shells coming at you and you're just like, bam, I'm underground, I'm safe now. Or you could, and then that way you can pop back up and like kind of repeat that process, kind of like how the Golden Dash had a timer. Next, I think the elephant fruit would work really well. I really feel like this item could let you just like, you turn into the elephant. It increases your weight stat and you could just like knock other racers around. This item would be great for lighter characters because now they would be able to knock the big characters like Bowser or Donkey Kong around. And it could have some sort of form of a similar effect to things like the Super Leaf, where if you hit a button, your elephant trunk hits other racers. And maybe same goes for it spraying water on the track and your characters spin out. I think this one would be really neat because, light characters need some love because in 8 Deluxe, yeah, they're just not it. And last, I think the Spring Mushroom from Mario Galaxy would be really neat. It would let you be able to like bounce around and like fall and land on other racers, kind of like how when you're small from the lightning, if you get run over, you're flat and you go really slow. I think that could be a way they go about it. Or I think it could be used for a really cool like shortcut taking trick, because with these maps looking to be pretty large, there's got to be some cool shortcuts. And imagine just like being able to just do like a mega jump, not something too overpowered, but just like being able to do the shortcut in a little bit more style. So I was going to include the Wonder Flower as an item because it's definitely interesting, it's new, it's unique, it was the whole thing for Mario Wonder. But like all I could really think of is it would really create like a screen distortion for the other player, because like one player, like they can't change the whole track for one player. So really it would just be similar to a blooper, but maybe just a little bit stronger than a blooper. But because we already have the blooper, I was like, I don't know. And really, I think if Nintendo was going to add the Wonder Flower, I feel like they would try to incorporate that as one of the like gimmicks of this game. So we'll see. If not, if the Wonder Flower is an item, cool. If it's not, also cool because this game is just already going to have so much items in it. Alright, so if I counted correctly, that's around 35 items, which definitely seems like a lot, and they may not add all of those, and it may be smaller than it is, or it could be even more than it is, especially if Nintendo wants to go the everyone and everything is here approach, like how they did with Smash Ultimate, but we'll just have to wait and see how they balance it. I think these items are decent choices out of the large item pool we have, and I think they would fit the 24-player larger track mechanic very nicely. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below what items you want to see in the next Mario Kart game. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really means a lot, and I hope to see you in the next video. Look out.